It has been a fantastic year for video games. Literally, only video games. And for gay people in Australia. But since it's highly inappropriate to do a list of the top 11 best gay Australians, this list will focus exclusively on games. We did get a Zelda and a Mario in the same year on a new innovative piece of hardware that I don't have. And so many innovative games with a single-player narrative focus that it's easy to forget the destruction of some of the most well-respected and beloved science fiction franchises of our time. Oh, Mass Effect, I will always love you. Mournful refrain. And with that, here's the obligatory and completely meaningless 11 picks for the very best game of the year that was previous. According to me. Why not do it again? No one watches this. This is for me. Number 11. Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. DDU is the immersive sim experience pared down to its base elements in an easy-to-eat package, boiling down what made Dishonored 2 great while injecting 100% more justifiable murder. Video games. Number 10. Strife. The 90s are not my favorite decade. I was only alive for the tail end, but what I do remember is flannel and men with long, silky hair, playing boring music. Strafe is thematically based off the famed polygonal shooters of the decade that brought us that one good Nirvana song. And now, after its Millennium update, which saved the game from falling into mediocrity, it captures the fast-paced combat and radical styling of games like Quake and Quake 2, all in the form of a roguelite, for infinite replay-shootability. Toot toot, it's the Pain Train. Number 9. Slime Rancher. My 9th favorite game of 2017 is not Destiny 2. Not arguably the best feeling FPS of its kind, it's definitely not the sequel to a 2014 game that broke my heart in the heart of collective millions, and has nothing to do with gorgeous sci-fi worlds filled with chunky, grindable content and loads of unique space guns and lasers. My number 9 game has not had loads of problematic post-launch content and gratuitous monetization that has slowly melted away all the goodwill the base game built up through its fairly good and well-written campaign. Because my number 9 game is Slime Rancher, a game where you ranch a bunch of adorable slimes and participate in a calming, easy to understand and adorable version of capitalism. Gotta be on that plort grind. Number 8. Echo. So you want innovation. So you want deep, well-thought female protagonists. So you want new IPs with intriguing worlds and unique visual languages. Well, may I present Echo. A gripping game of metaphorical chess where the lost condition is death, and your opponent is yourself. Echo has an ingenious main hook. Enemies can only do what you choose to do, be it running, sneaking, shooting, or even walking over water. Every advantage you take is a threat you've added to the next room. The fact that the story is so interesting is just the cherry on top of this tight 6-hour cake. Terrifying cake. Number 7. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is the rare sequel that is at once excellent, well-written, and moving, while also hurting its predecessor's resonance and emotional impact. The New Colossus also feels somewhat awkwardly designed, and is very frustrating to play on any difficulty except for the very easiest. All of that being said, with the ability to simply walk through Nazis and experience the delightful and heartfelt narrative buried within, Wolfenstein is a truly worthwhile experience, just shy of true camp nirvana. Oop, there they are again. It's great, and horrifyingly current. Number 6. Neo. I love Dark Souls. I know it's not a very controversial statement, but it's true. Dark Souls is one of my favorite franchises ever. Of any kind. And I don't even like fantasy that much. Also, I love and have loved the modern Ninja Gaiden games since I was but a mere squirt on this dark blue marble we call Earth. Neo, from developer Team Ninja, is those two things at the same time, and in the very best combination possible. It's the peanut butter and chocolate of those two venerable ideas, crushed into a fine powder and compressed into a delicious cup of yum yum good times. Also, number 5. Dead Cells. I love Castlevania. I know, it's not a very controversial statement, but it's true. Castlevania is one of my favorite franchises ever, of any kind. And I don't even like vampires that much. Also, I love and have loved the roguelike genre since I was but a mere slightly younger person on the spinning super ball we call Earth. Dead Cells, from developer Motion Twin, is those two things at the same time, and in the best combination possible. It's the peanut butter and chocolate of those two venerable ideas crushed into a fine powder and compressed into a wait a minute. Wow, I may have just written the exact same thing for the last game on this list. It's hard to remember. That was so long ago. Who were we? All those 2 minutes before I wrote that statement? I suppose it's true what they say. You can't go home again, unless you build a mental time transference device and send yourself back into your childhood form. Then, immediately bang your head into a wall so hard that you forget you are from the future and relive your life with only the smallest of guidance, as though every one of your many adult years were merely a dream. Anywho's, it's number 4, Dirt 4. Dirt 4 is the best rally racing game I have ever played, and I have played 5 of them. The handling is ridiculously fair, the car list is nice and robust without being overwhelming, and the new infinite stage generator helps to capture the rush of hurtling down a narrow patch of Australian countryside in a vehicular dance with death on the very limit of adhesion. Also, you can smash a bunch of giant Cheetos, so there's always that. Number 3, Nier Automata. If there's one singular aspect of Nier Automata that I can point to illustrate the profound effect that the game's story and brilliant structure had on me, it would have to be the strings. Nier's soundtrack so perfectly underscores the game's numerous melancholy tableaux. Also, why can't 2B wear pants? Not only a competent action game, creator Yoko Toro's vision of a humanless Earth populated by machines and androids, locked in an eternal war for basically no reason, might just be my pick for philosophical game of the year, going far beyond most science fiction stories, which merely pose grand questions for the audience to ponder while they make their morning sandwiches. Toro and his team actually give their 2 cents as the story subtly devolves into a primal emotional soup, casting aside such hindrances as narrative logic and basic plot consistency, in favor of seeing the emotional, thematic side of the story through to a point deeper than any game, or any medium for that matter, have ever approached, to my knowledge, with maybe one exception. Number 2. What Remains of Edith Finch. What Remains of Edith Finch is far more than just the best title of 2017, which it is, by the way. It's also the game that disappointed me more than any other, and that's a good thing. You see, rarely are stories about death focused on the actual death part of the story. What Remains follows the young Edith Finch as she returns to the house she grew up in so that she can finally learn the stories of her dead relatives, all possibly taken by a family curse. To say any more would ruin one of the most imaginative and warm gameplay experiences I've played not only all year, but all of my brief time on the circular water balloon we call Earth. What I can say is that few, if any, other games have ever left me truly, deeply heartbroken the way this game did just a few short hours after the credits rolled. I hugged my cat. I told my family I loved them. Really loved them. I thought about what that means, to say that to another human being. And it meant it. In the end, it's all we are. And what remains. So, after all these games that moved me, games that changed me, games in which you can do this, there is only one idea that can stand above all. One that feeds into my imagination more than any other two-word combination has since I was a small boy, devoid of cynical critiques and over-analysis, when I was just able to open my mind and let myself soar into the joyous abyss of imagination and wonder. Those words are, of course, robot dinosaurs. Number 1. Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon is a great many things. Beautiful and smart and emotional and earnest. And most importantly, it is a blast to play. The story of Aloy, an exiled hunter in a world of robot dinosaurs and lost civilizations, is one that feels ripped straight from one of those young adult novels you passed by at Ralph's on your way to the chocolate-covered pretzels. The great core idea, but kind of falls apart by the halfway point. Only with this story, it keeps getting better as you unravel the mystery of what happened to this strange new world. Horizon is unabashedly childlike in the best possible way and still manages to carry with it the serious weight of a generation of believers and dreamers. I don't know if Horizon will change the world or shake up the video game landscape. It probably won't. But what I do know is that it has more raccoons than you can shake a cyber spear at. And it is my favorite game of 2017. Welp, there you do in fact have it. Thank you to the 7 or so people who actually watches my attempt at comedy. Here's to the last year at our feet, and to a significantly less bad 20 great teen. See you next time, and I hope you get everything you want in life. Well, I think we did an actual serious ending, Mr. Octopus. What do you think? I really liked it. I think it was good that you ended it in an earnest way. Did you just toot?